A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant legal development, a federal judge has ruled against two Trump administration directives that sought to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs in schools and universities across the United States. U.S. District Judge Stephanie Gallagher, based in Maryland, determined that the Education Department acted unlawfully when it threatened to withdraw federal funding from educational institutions that continued to implement DEI initiatives. This ruling comes after a series of legal challenges, with portions of the Education Department's anti-DEI measures being blocked by 3 federal judges since April. The American Federation of Teachers and the American Sociological Association filed a motion for summary judgment in February, contesting the government's actions. The case revolves around 2 memos issued by the Education Department, which mandated that schools and universities cease any form of race-based decision-making or face severe penalties, including the potential loss of federal funding. These memos were part of a broader initiative by the Trump administration that framed DEI practices as discriminatory against white and Asian American students. In her ruling, Gallagher ordered the Education Department to rescind the guidance, citing violations of procedural requirements. Importantly, she refrained from commenting on the merits of the policies themselves, stating, "I take no view on whether the policies were good or bad, prudent or foolish, fair or unfair." Judge Gallagher, who was appointed by former President Trump, dismissed the government's assertion that the memos merely served as reminders of existing anti-discrimination laws. She noted that the directives instigated a sea change in how the Department of Education oversees educational practices, instilling fear among educators about the potential repercussions of their lawful and beneficial speech. In response to the ruling, Democracy Forward, a legal advocacy organization representing the plaintiffs, hailed the decision as a crucial victory against the administration's assault on DEI initiatives. Skye Perryman, the president and CEO of Democracy Forward, stated, "Threatening teachers and sowing chaos in schools throughout America is part of the administration's war on education, and today the people won." The Education Department has not released an immediate comment following the ruling. The controversy began with a memo dated February 14th, which asserted that any consideration of race in admissions, financial aid, hiring, or other aspects of academic and student life would constitute a violation of federal civil rights law. This memo significantly broadened the government's interpretation of a 2023 Supreme Court ruling that prohibited colleges from factoring race into their admissions processes. The government argued that this ruling extended beyond admissions, effectively banning any form of race-based preferences throughout the entire education system. Craig Traynor, the acting Assistant Secretary of the Office for Civil Rights at the Education Department, claimed that educational institutions had misled students by promoting the idea that the United States is founded on systemic and structural racism and had implemented discriminatory policies. A subsequent memo issued in April mandated that state education agencies confirm they were not engaging in illegal DEI practices. Institutions that failed to comply risked losing federal funding and facing prosecution under the False Claims Act. Collectively, these memos represented a drastic shift in the government's approach to civil rights in education, targeting policies designed to rectify historical racial disparities while labeling them as discriminatory in their own right. The memos prompted widespread backlash from states and education organizations, which condemned them as illegal government censorship. The American Federation of Teachers argued that the government was imposing vague and highly subjective restrictions on schools nationwide, forcing educators to choose between stifling their constitutionally protected speech and association or risking the loss of federal funds and potential legal consequences. This ruling marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over diversity, equity, and inclusion in education, as proponents of DEI initiatives celebrate a significant legal victory in the face of federal opposition. As the education community grapples with the implications of this ruling, it remains to be seen how the Education Department will respond and what the future holds for DEI programs in American schools and universities. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.